Today I wanted to, the title of the chapter is called Immerse Yourself in Silence, being calm in today's world. And I think as I was thinking about how, just stressful things are for folks from the virus, other issues, and then of course you just have your personal life. If you take all that aside, people still have stress from just their personal life. And so I wanted to just talk about, how do you allow peace? How do you allow well-being? Or how do you access it when things are the way they are? Right? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Again, I'm Michael LeBlanc. Hey, Christy, thanks for tuning in. Please say hello as you do. And I'm an author, so my current book, Divine Dirt, is what I'm sharing today. And I'm just going to kind of jump in. I'll tell you more about me after a while. All right. So I think you can see me okay. I can't quite tell with the lighting going on here. It's kind of weird. One of the things I think about, so in my first book, Manifest a Better Life with God, I talk about kind of the ocean and the wave, God go on this journey, and how if you think about a wave, and from an outer view, waves are very multiple and different, but if you went within the wave, there's really one source of the wave, and there's one ocean being all waves. And in that story, in the book, it was a way for this analogy for me to explain, or my sense of God as consciousness, intelligence. Think of space that had awareness and intelligence, right? And to me, that's what God has become. I still use the word God, although I know people have been hurt by religion and so they shy away from it. But my understanding or experience of it has just changed. And so if you think of that analogy of an ocean and a wave, the ocean is always sourcing that wave. The ocean is always causing that wave. And we, as humans, are being sourced by and caused by a divine intelligence, a divine mind. Now, here's how, to me, accessing and allowing peacefulness and well-being, even at times of crisis or chaos in your life or in the world, is possible. And that is, the source of you is well-being. The source of life is well-being. The source of you is peacefulness. The source of you, the source of life, this world, is peacefulness. And so we don't really have to make those things. And I think we get caught up in thinking we have to create well-being. We have to create health. We have to create this sort of peace or ease. And the truth is we don't. I have to stop doing some things I do in my life that can interrupt my natural state of well-being. I have to stop doing some things that I might do in my life that interrupt my natural state of peacefulness. And if I do that, I'll fall back into the source of me, which is that full place of well-being, wholeness, completeness. So, regardless of what's going on in the world or in your personal life, your well-being and your peace has not gone anywhere. Now, I can't focus on any particular drama in my life and at the same time truly keep connecting to my sense of well-being. If I get too hung up on what's going on out there, if I get too into it and stay too identified with it, I'm going to feel the stress of it. So I think of it this way, and I'm going to share a technique I use. I use a practice called centering prayer. It's a meditative prayer practice, and I'll give you it's a quick and easy way to do it. But I think of it this way. If I want to feel well-being, if I want to feel my natural states of wholeness and completeness, then I have to pause my humanness. I have to pause me being all wrapped up in Michael as a physical human being living in a physical world and being all a part of it and all of its dramas. And if I don't pause that, then it's going to be really hard to experience that well-being and that peacefulness, which is there. So I use a practice called centering prayer. Now, centering prayer is a 14th century meditative prayer practice, contemplative prayer practice. It was in the monasteries. And now I learned it from Father Thomas Keating, who was very big on bringing it kind of mainstream. And it has a history, but he was how I learned about centering prayer. And it's really quite simple. It's about, let me be still. So I'm going to sit. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to breathe. So most of us can handle that. But I'm going to make an intention. So a lot of times prayer, people think of, I'm going to ask for something. I'm going to request something. I'm going to have this dialogue. I'm going to beg, plead, whatever. But this is really not about any of that. This is about, my intention is I'm going to go within and I'm going to be with the divine self. My Father Keating would have called it your true self. If I think of the ocean and the wave, it's while I'm being a wave, let me go within and sense and be with the ocean part of me while I'm still being a wave. So while I'm being human, while I'm being Michael, let me pause and be with my divine self, the self that's this source, this intelligence, this divine, this divinity, whatever name or word you want to call it. Let me pause my Michaelness and go in and be with that while I'm experiencing Michael. So let me be both wave and ocean. Let me be both human and divine instead of just human. So centering prayer to me is putting a pause on my humanness. It's putting a pause on Michael and remembering the truer part of me, the part that's really causing me. And so in the practice, you close your eyes, you settle in, you set a timer so you can forget about time. And the recommended practice is 20 minutes twice a day. So let's say I set my timer. I use an app on my phone called Insight Timer. I set it for 20 minutes. I close my eyes, I go within. Now, the other part of centering prayer is about using a sacred word. So it's a word that's going to remind you, well, what the hell are you doing sitting here with your eyes closed? and what you're doing is your intention is to be with the divine of you at the same time. It's kind of like I'm the wave and I'm remembering I'm also the ocean. But I'm going to be more with the ocean right now. And so the sacred word, it's a 1-2 syllable word, and it's really just to remind you, what are you doing? For this 20 minutes, you have intended to shut out the world, to pause your humanness, and be with and remember and experience and sense this divine self. And the sacred word is to help you remember that. So when you go into silence and you're doing centering prayer, and now your mind kicks in and it takes you somewhere, which it will, and it does. You simply, the moment you notice you've left, you use your sacred word, 1-2 syllable word. It could be love, it could be peace. Mine's actually hi God. I think of if I were visiting with you and I drifted off, it would be like me bringing, oh, hey, hi. Like I'm bringing myself back to what I'm doing. And so if I drift off in thought during the centering prayer practice, I simply introduce it silently within and I say, oh, hi, God, and I come back to what I was doing. So you're not using your sacred word to beat you up. You're using your sacred word to just remind yourself what you're doing. And I come back. And you continue to do that for the 20 minutes. So it's really about, I'm deciding I'm going to be with the larger part of me, the truer part of me, not just my humanness. And I'm going to use this little word I've come up with to help me remember that. Because when I go within, my mind's going to, out of habit, it's going to take me places. And I'm going to have to bring myself back. And then what happens though sometimes is when I keep coming back, remember, you're not coming back to nothing. You're coming back to an intelligence, a source, a wellspring of well-being and wholeness and completeness. And it's tangible and it's experiential, even though it's not necessarily visible. And I've had numerous experiences when I've done this practice of just feeling this immense peace and wellness and wholeness. And if I opened my eyes, it wasn't because of anything going on out there. It always because I got far enough away from all that to settle in again. So I offer that as a practice. It's called Centering Prayer. You can, in my first book, Manifest a Better Life with God, it's in chapter 2 in Divine Dirt. I kind of mentioned it a couple of times in Divine Dirt. Today's chapter is on being calm in today's world. And it's possible, but I have to do something to allow well-being. I have to do something to allow it again. I don't have to create it, but I have to pause myself long enough and get myself still enough to tap into it. And so I just wanted to share that as a practice of something we can do. Now, again, the recommended practice that Father Keating would tell you was 20 minutes twice a day. I use Insight Timer, like I said, but I have timers on there for like 5 minutes. I can tell I'm in my day. I'm really getting caught up in it, and I'm starting to feel the angst or the stress of it. And if possible, I will pause 5 minutes and I'll do centering prayer, and I'll shut it off and I'll go within and I'll just get recharged and I'm ready to go again. So it doesn't always have to be the full time, but the full time is useful because the more I hang out there, the more my being fills up again with that wellness, with that well-being. And all I'm doing is being still enough. All I'm doing is quieting myself. I think of it as we have pause buttons on everything. Like right now, you can pause this video if you're sick of it. So it's like I'm pausing my humanness. I'm pausing my external focus to this world, and I'm coming back to the true source of me that's never left. It's always there, just like with the wave in the ocean. The ocean's always there the whole time the wave's there, right? Sourcing it. So as you go in your day and you have to notice. If you don't notice, you're just going to feel stressed and live anyway. It's an option. I've done it before. I'll probably do it again. But I know I can interrupt it at any time, which is the beauty of it. And I don't think we're here to be perfect, but I do think we can live life feeling more well and peaceful and whole more often, right? So anyway, you have a great day. Again, I'm Michael LeBlanc. So Divine Dirt is the book I'm sharing from. And I am an author. I am a coach. My coaching is mostly around this type of work. It's how do I help people remember you are divine? And you can use that to manifest your best life. And so that's kind of my work. And I do teachings and workshops and stuff like that also. I do have a couple of things coming up. I have a master class off of my first book, Manifest a Better Life with God. That's going to start in August. I'll be sharing more on that. I am starting a couple of memberships. One's on centering prayer. I think when I have practiced centering prayer in groups, there's something a little bit more profound that happens. So I'm going to start a membership around centering prayer, and we'll have 2 dedicated times a week that we will go into silence together. And then there's other resources and videos and things like that I'll be sharing on the membership. So I'll be sharing more about that as well. If you're interested in it, just message me and I can reply to you more about it, as it's all information. So as it comes together, I'll share more with you. So thanks for tuning in, and please say hello if you're watching. It just sort of helps me know who's out there. I see a few of you chiming in, and I appreciate you joining me. And if you need to reach me, if you want to reach me, so Michael LeBlanc you can go to michael@createwithconsciousness.com is how you could email me. My website is createwithconsciousness.com. If you are struggling and you ever want just a free coaching, a free consult, right? A somehow remembering your divine self. And I tend to do energy work and experiences and meditations in my coachings because I think experience is way more powerful than a discussion. So anyway, if you are in need, reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you more. You have a great day, and do remember there is a way to allow well-being and peacefulness even in today's world. Chat soon. Love you. Bye.